I went to the wedding alone. No plus one. No partner. Just me, my slightly wrinkled suit, and the quiet weight that comes with being a single dad. As I stepped into the glowing wedding hall, laughter echoed everywhere. Couples holding hands. Wives adjusting their husbands' ties. Kids running between tables. And me? I checked my phone. My daughter's picture as my wallpaper and smiled softly. She'd have loved this, I whispered. I found my seat near the back. Alone tables are quieter. You notice things more. The music, the small glances, the way people subtly scan the room to see who came with whom. That's when I felt it. Someone staring. Before I could turn. Hey, look at me. The shout cut through the music. Every head turned, including mine. It was her. My neighbor. The woman I'd passed every morning for 3 years with nothing more than a polite nod. The one who borrowed sugar once. The one who waved at my daughter from her balcony. She was standing near the dance floor, and she looked unreal. Not flashy, not loud, just confident, calm, beautiful in a way that stops time. I froze. People whispered. Do they know each other? Is that her husband? Why is she shouting? My heart pounded like I'd been caught doing something wrong. She walked toward me, heels clicking, eyes locked on mine. I stood up out of instinct. She stopped right in front of me and said, softly this time, you weren't going to say hi? I swallowed. I didn't know you were coming. She smiled. I wasn't. Until I saw you leaving alone. That hit me, harder than I expected. She glanced at the empty chair beside me. No date? She asked. I shook my head. Just me. She pulled the chair back and sat down. Well, she said, crossing her arms. Now it's us. People stopped whispering. They were staring. But for the first time that night, I didn't care. We talked. About small things at first. The food. The music. How awkward weddings can be when you're alone. Then she asked, how's your daughter? I smiled without thinking. She's everything. I know, she said. I hear her laugh through the walls sometimes. It's my favorite sound. That's when something cracked open in my chest. During the slow song, couples filled the dance floor. I didn't move. She looked at me and said, you're not going to ask, are you? I laughed nervously. I don't dance. She stood up and held out her hand. Then just stand with me. So I did. No spins. No fancy steps. Just two people swaying slightly while the world blurred around us. She leaned in and whispered, you know why I shouted, right? I shook my head. Because you always hide, she said. You show up for everyone else, but never let anyone show up for you. I couldn't speak. When the song ended, she didn't pull away. She just smiled and said, next time, don't come alone. That night, I went home smiling. Not because I found love at a wedding, but because for the first time since becoming a single dad, someone looked at me and said, I see you. The wedding lights were gone. So was the music. But her words followed me home like an echo. Next time, don't come alone. The next morning, I was back in real life. Burnt toast, mismatched socks. My daughter asking 100 questions before 7 a.m. Did you have fun at the wedding, Baba? She asked, swinging her backpack. I paused. I think I did. She smiled like she knew something I didn't. When I dropped her at school, I saw her again. My neighbor, standing by her car, hair tied back, no makeup, no heels, just a hoodie and coffee in hand. Real. She noticed me and smiled like we'd shared a secret. Morning, she said. Morning, I replied, suddenly aware of my voice. She nodded toward my daughter's school. She didn't stop talking about the wedding last night. I frowned. You talked to her? She waved at me from the balcony when you came home. she said. I waved back. She asked if you danced. My face warmed. Did you tell her the truth? She laughed softly. I told her you tried. That laugh, easy, genuine, did something dangerous to me. We stood there, quiet for a moment. Then she said, you know, I almost didn't shout. I looked at her. Why did you? She took a breath. Because I've watched you carry everything alone for years. Groceries, homework, sleepless nights. Her eyes softened. And no one ever claps for that. I didn't know what to say, so I said the only honest thing. I didn't think anyone noticed. She stepped closer. Not touching, just close enough. I did. That was it. No fireworks. No dramatic music. Just two tired adults standing between parked cars and unfinished lives. Before she left, she said, I'm making dinner tonight. Nothing fancy. I raised an eyebrow. Is that an invitation? She smiled. Only if you come with your daughter. That evening, my daughter whispered while tying her shoes, Is she the wedding lady? I laughed. Maybe. At dinner, my daughter talked nonstop. She listened like it mattered. When we left, my daughter hugged her without asking. In the car, my daughter said quietly, Baba. She feels safe. I didn't reply, because that's when I realized something terrifying. So things didn't change overnight. They changed quietly. Coffee cups on opposite balconies. Short walks that turned into long talks. My daughter racing ahead while she and I followed, pretending we weren't paying attention to each other. But peace is scary when you've lived in survival mode too long. One evening I overheard it. Two women in the elevator. Isn't that the single dad from 4B? Yeah. The neighbor lady's been spending a lot of time with him. She doesn't know his situation, does she? My chest tightened. My situation. Like I was a warning label. That night, she noticed I was quiet. You okay? She asked. Elite. Just tired. She didn't push. That's what made it worse. A few days later, my ex called. Out of nowhere. I heard you're getting close to someone, she said. You should be careful. Our daughter doesn't need confusion. I stared at the wall. She already has stability, I replied. She has me. Silence. Then, you think another woman will stay? That sentence reopened every old wound. That evening, she invited me in for tea. I stood at her door longer than I should have. I can't do this, I said suddenly. She blinked. Do what? This? I said, gesturing between us. Getting close. Letting my daughter care. Letting myself care. She listened. Really listened. Then she said softly, You're not afraid of me. I swallowed. You're afraid of what happens if I leave. That broke me. I've already failed once, I said. I can't let my daughter watch it happen again. She stepped closer, not touching. I'm not asking to replace anyone, she said. I'm asking to stand next to you. Tears burned my eyes. But if one day you decide you can't, she added, promise me one thing. What? Don't disappear. Don't shut us out to protect us. I nodded. That night, my daughter crawled into my bed and whispered, Baba, are we losing her? I pulled her close. No, I said, finally sure.